I'm going to read you a couple of things, and then I'm going to ask you to contemplate parallels between these two things. It's about 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, April 30th. Last night in Washington, D.C., it was in Michigan, Trump had a rally. It was his first rally since his inauguration, and by all accounts, it was very sparsely attended. However, his team played a video of Venezuelan migrants being deported to Sicat prison in El Salvador in shackles, with being bent over and their heads being forcibly shaved, and everything that went along with that. And yes, the crowd went wild. It's one thing being pleased that your government is deporting undocumented immigrants. According to Politico, the crowd reaction to this, felt like something else entirely. Now I'm going to read three paragraphs from a different article. The Museum of African American History and Culture is in part a catalog of cruelty. Amid all the stories of perseverance, tragedy, and unlikely triumph are the artifacts of inhumanity and barbarism. The child-size slave shackles, the bright red robes of the wizards of the Ku Klux Klan, the recordings of civil rights protesters being brutalized by police. The artifacts that persist in the author's memory, the way a bright flash does when you close your eyes, are the photographs of lynchings. But it's not the burned, mutilated bodies that stuck with who wrote this article. It's the faces of the white men in the crowd. There's the photo of the lynching of Thomas Shipp and Abram Smith, in Indiana in 1930, in which a white man can be seen grinning at the camera as he tenderly holds the hand of his wife or girlfriend. There's the undated photo from Duluth, Minnesota, in which grinning white men stand next to the mutilated, half-naked bodies of two men lashed to a post in the street. One of the white men is straining to get into the picture, his smile cutting from ear to ear. There's the photo of a crowd of white men huddled behind the smoldering corpse of a man burned to death. One of them is wearing a smart suit, a fedora hat, and a bright smile. Their names have mostly been lost to time, but these grinning men were someone's brother, son, husband, father. They were human beings, people who took immense pleasure in the utter cruelty of torturing others to death, and were so proud of doing so that they posed for photographs with their handiwork, jostling to ensure that they caught the eye of the lens so that the world would know that they'd been there. Their cruelty made them feel good, it made them feel proud, it made them feel happy, and it made them feel closer to one another. The Trump era is such a whirlwind of cruelty that it can be hard to track. That is from the article, "The Cruelty is the Point," subtitled "President Trump and His Supporters Find Community with One Another by Rejoicing in the Suffering of Those They Hate and Fear." That article was written by Adam Serwer, Serwer, and it was published on October 3rd, 2018. Yeah, 7 years ago. It just feels like what we're doing to immigrants in this country is a 2025 version of lynching. And Trump supporters fucking love it. They celebrate it. They revel in those kinds of images. The videos that are being put out by the El Salvadoran government and by the Trump administration of the brutal and inhumane treatment of these immigrants. His supporters love it. They bond with one another through it.